And we're back, our first video for 2022, and that just feels weird. It feels weird saying that. And my, we are excited. It's going to be a great year of mixed martial arts, and I can feel it. Now, look, 2021, amazing. Probably the best year that we have seen in a while in terms of fights in the UFC, in terms of the drama, in terms of the technical application for fighters. But we've seen the sport grow at a rapid trajectory. So what I thought to begin the new year is to come with the top 5 fights that I think we really need to see this year. So I'm going to break it down into 2 elements. One is this is only for the men. We'll do a separate video for the ladies later. Secondly, these are fantasy fights, i.e. they are probably fights that are not, they're definitely fights that have not been announced or within the future, though there's some, pearlers in there. So look, let's start with number 5. And to me, it always begins with Conor McGregor. So number 5 on my list is Conor McGregor versus Tony El Kukui Ferguson. Yes, you heard that right. Conor McGregor and El Kukui Ferguson. Now, this is a fight where both the fighters are not necessarily at the peak of their powers, but are still big enough of a name to make it happen, to throw down stylistically. As stand-up fighters, this works, and I can only imagine the press conference and the lead up to this fight. And to me, it makes all the sense of the world to get these two guys matched together. It should be an amazing fight. It should be a good level test for McGregor. To me, if McGregor wins something like this, that potentially give him Dustin Poirier, potentially. To me, this is a measuring stick for Tony Ferguson, and probably for the UFC, maybe the last element of value that they could probably extract from Tony Ferguson. And that's just a weird thing to say, but I think that this fight would be amazing. And in the lightweight division, to be honest, the top 4 to 5 guys there is a logjam there for the championship belt, right? But this would be something, would really be a fight to see in my mind. Number 4, we have Colby Covington taking over Khamzat Chimaev. And I like this one. I like all the fights in this list, but I really like this one. 2 grappling phenoms. You got the wrestling, the takedown of Colby Covington, that cardio. Then you got Khamzat, who is the new shiny toy. Look, to me, they've got to try and make Colby and Masvidal work. They've got to try and make it for the Ultimate Fighter, right? Like, I'm not fighting, I'm not arguing on that. The B side is if that does not happen, give Colby Khamzat. Again, the lead up, the drama, the press conference would be absolutely insane. Khamzat seems like an animal. Yes, it's a massive leap, but Khamzat seems like he has the tools. And, to me, it's now or never for the guy. Like, I'm expecting extremely big things for him if he can get past his next couple of fights. And if you throw him to Colby and he can dominate Colby, Usman is next. He is knocking on that door. Number 3, Australia's own Alexander Volkanovski taking on Henry Cejudo. Yes, you heard it right. Look, there's no one else in that division, featherweight. I mean, we're going to see Volk and Holloway. And if that happens again, please, let's let that fight go. Yeah, let's absolutely let that fight go. Volkanovski needs new blood, and I think there's a ready-made rivalry in Henry Cejudo. He's taken a couple of years off the sport. He's still in the sport in terms of media personality and having the conversations with the right people. So people still know him. He is a draw. Get Henry Cejudo out. Pit him against Volkanovski. If he beats Volkanovski, there are other fights to happen there. Look, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of things happening at featherweight, but there needs to be a bit of a shake-up here. And I think this is the perfect time to reintroduce Cejudo and to give our boy Volk new blood. That would be a pearler of a fight. Number 2, John Jones. The return of John Bones Jones at heavyweight. This fight is at heavyweight. against Francis the Terminator Ngannou. Like, there's a lot of prefaces here, but to me, this is the fight for the baddest man on the planet. It makes sense. It was rumored last year they couldn't make the money work, so why would they be able to make the money work now? I'm not too sure. Heck, this is a fantasy list of fights. And for the heavyweight division, look, I like Cyril Gane, I like Stipe, Derek Lewis is fun, but Ngannou and Jones, it would just represent just two Super Saiyans just going at it. Oh, that would be such a good fight. Look, so that's number 2. Going to the number 1 fight that I think we, as the UFC loving public, would love to see. Let's give a drum roll. I got no drums. Okay, we don't have the budget for drums, but Kamaru Usman taking over. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Israel Adesanya. The boys throw down. Now, look. Middleweight, Israel. Welterweight, Kamaru. Look, we all know Kamaru can put the weight on. And he's been quoted as saying, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. Like, there is a number to which this fight can occur. And I think this would be amazing. And look, if Israel Adesanya defeats Robert Whittaker, I mean, he's cleaned out the division. I don't want to see him take on Strickland. Who else is he going to take on? We need to get creative here. Kamaru is dominant. And for Kamaru, his next step from a legacy perspective, I know they're boys, and I know they don't want to do this, but sometimes, there are things that need to be done for legacy. And right now, Kamaru is cementing his legacy. And stylistically, this fight would be absolutely, a wrestler taking on an elite striker. Kamaru can strike, but there's no way he is on the same level, the playing field as Israel. Now, Israel can grapple, but he ain't on the same level as Kamaru from a wrestling perspective. I mean, we know how this is going to go, right? Maybe not. This fight has to happen. Dana White, make it happen. And that was my list of the top 5 UFC fights that we want to see this year. What do you think, guys? Is it a bit too wacky? What do you think of number 1? What do you think of my Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson fight? Leave comments below of fights that you think need to happen. This is going to be an amazing year for the channel. We're planning big things. So please, guys, give us a thumbs up. Leave some comments below. Subscribe to the channel. And we hope to see you soon.